Are you wondering if AI can actually help you with your personal statement? Keep watching, because by the end of this video you'll know how to use AI to create a personal statement that sounds 100% like you, stands out for all the right reasons, and actually makes admissions teams want to meet you. This video is for you if you want clarity, confidence and zero stress with your statement. Now before we get started, can I ask one small favour? If you like what I do here, can you please hit the subscribe button? That keeps me energized to bring you more content. Thank you very much. Let's get into it. Okay, let's begin with tip number 1, which is to use AI as your brainstorming buddy. Now I recommend that you treat AI like your personal creative assistant and not a ghost writer. You know when you stare at a blank page and nothing actually comes out? That's when AI can just pull you out of your head. For example, I had a student called Emily who sat there for 3 weeks trying to craft a perfect opening. So I told her to dump every messy idea into ChatGPT and also try a free app called Notion AI. And within just 15 minutes, she had 12 different opening ideas, one based on how working in a small family bakery shaped her patience. Now that tiny story became the hook for her final personal statement. Now I would also suggest that you start with raw life moments instead of fancy phrases. People often hide the real quirky stuff because they think it's just not good enough. But the weird details are what make you more interesting. Now Jack, one of my students, told AI about fixing rusty old bikes on weekends using YouTube tutorials. And AI helped him turn that into a story about persistence and solving problems, which ended up being the paragraph the admissions panel commented on the most. Now you can also use tools like ChatGPT or Jasper AI to actually help you frame your story without making it sound fake. Now you can break free from the myth that you need an exciting life to actually write a good statement. The truth is, the most powerful statements come from ordinary moments. So try telling AI about a time you taught a younger sibling how to swim, or the time you overcame a small but very real challenge, and just ask it to actually expand on why that really matters. Now it actually forces you to see the value in things that you've actually lived through, which you probably would ignore. Now make sure you give AI all the small stuff before you ask it for the big ideas. This is where so many people actually go wrong. They just type in, write my personal statement into ChatGPT. Now instead, here's what you want to do. You want to paste a bullet list of your own messy sentence first. That way the AI builds ideas from your own words. Now Tom, another student, had a draft that sounded like a stranger wrote it for him. But when we fed his own voice into the tool first, the new draft came out sounding 100% like him. Now if you want to avoid writer's block, you can ask AI for 10 weird prompts. You can literally type in, give me 10 fun prompts to start a personal statement for medicine using my hobbies, which are photography, running and volunteering in an elderly home. So there's an example prompt you could actually use. Now tools like perplexity.ai and copy.ai are actually brilliant at throwing curveball ideas that you'd never think of yourself. Now don't forget that your first use of AI isn't to actually write, it's to actually brainstorm. You want to use a note-taking app like Obsidian, OBSIDIAN, or even Evernote to actually collect all the ideas that AI actually gives you. Then just step back for a day, highlight the ones that actually sound like you, and only keep those. That's how you keep control and avoid ending up with a generic essay. Now the key thing I want you to take away is this: once you see 20 raw ideas in front of you, the fear of I have nothing to say usually disappears quite quickly. Now Emily literally said, I thought it was boring, but now I have more stories than I know what to do with. But that's what happens when AI is used as a brainstorming buddy and not just a replacement brain. Let's now move on to tip number 2, which is to use AI to actually organize your thoughts. Now you know that heavy feeling in your head when everything is just noise? This is exactly why I tell people to use tools like Miro, M-I-R-O, which is a free mind mapping app, or even Notion. Now you can just dump every messy idea that you have into the AI and just ask the following question. Can you group these into 3 clear sections? So that's the question you want to ask. Now Zara, one of my students, did this, and for the first time she actually saw her ideas in order, and she called it magic decluttering. Now, I suggest that you ask AI for a simple roadmap and not a full essay. So you can just literally say to the AI, please give me a simple outline based on what I wrote, 3 parts maximum. So there's the prompt that you can actually use. Now, when you see just 3 clean steps on the screen, it doesn't feel quite as overwhelming anymore. Suddenly you go from chaos to a small plan that you can actually follow with ease. Now you can just take one small chunk at a time instead of trying to write everything at once. Now Sam, one of my students, hated writing so much that he actually did anything to actually avoid it. And after we created a simple structure using AI, he just wrote 1 paragraph a day, and after a week his entire personal statement was actually complete, and he didn't even notice how fast it actually went. Now, to help you go a bit deeper, you can actually ask AI some specific questions. Instead of vague things like make it better, you can try something like, how do I show that I love engineering without just saying I love engineering? So there's a good question you can ask. Now, these types of targeted questions help you discover some fresh new angles. So you want to make sure you treat your structure like a flexible plan. Tools like ChatGPT, Grammarly's tone detector, or Notion AI can actually help you shuffle sections around if something doesn't quite fit well. Now, you don't have to marry your first draft. Now, if you want a strong flow, just ask the AI for linking sentences. Many students end up with something that reads like a shopping list. AI can actually suggest transitions that make it feel like a connected story instead of a set of separate pieces. Now, the big shift here is that you stop thinking you're bad at writing. Now, once the ideas are out of your head and actually organised, there's no panic. People come back to me saying, I was never bad at writing, I was just bad at untangling my thoughts. That realisation is very transformational. Let's now move on to tip number 3, which is to use AI to improve clarity without losing your voice. Now, I recommend you start with your own messy first draft, even if it is a bit ugly. Don't try to be perfect. Now, Priya, one of my students, submitted her rough draft to ChatGPT with the following prompt. Please make this flow better, but don't change my tone. So there's the prompt that she actually used. Now, it basically cleaned up her grammar while keeping her natural warmth. Now, the final version sounded exactly like her, just more polished. So you can actually protect your voice by breaking it into some smaller parts. Now, instead of pasting the whole thing, just ask AI to help with just 1 paragraph at a time. Now, Grammarly, ChatGPT, or even Quillbot can actually smooth small sections without rewriting your personality. I suggest that you actually tell the AI, make this sound like me talking to a friend, not like an academic essay. So there's the prompt you can use. Now, the results are going to be so much better. It stops the AI from turning your statement into something that sounds robotic. Now, don't forget to delete anything that makes you cringe. If an AI generated sentence feels a bit fake, then just take it out. Now, Priya actually deleted 5 sentences from her AI polished draft. What was left was authentic and very powerful. Now, if you want some more options, you can ask for 3 different ways to say the same sentence. Tools like Jasper.ai are great for doing this. You'll almost always find one that feels just like you. And yes, that's me on a good day. Now, the thing that you really should know is that clarity is more powerful than big words. Admission teams don't really care how clever you actually sound. They care if they actually can feel your passion. Now, you can actually see better results if you focus on simple and real. Now, for a final polish, read it out loud to someone that you actually trust. Now, Priya read her final statement to her dad, and when he actually said, "This sounds exactly like you," that's when she knew it was actually ready. That little step changes everything. Let's now move on to tip number 4, which is to use AI for final checks without overwriting your work. Now, to make your statement much stronger, you can use AI for feedback only. So you can paste your draft into ChatGPT and say the following: does this sound like a real person actually wrote it? So there's the question you can ask. And it'll actually point out where you sound robotic. It's like having an extra pair of eyes before you even hit submit. So you can just ask the AI, does this show why I'm excited about this course? So there's another question you can ask. Now, if the answer is no, then you know exactly where to add a little bit more of your own voice. Tools like Grammarly Go or ChatGPT are really great for this. Now, you want to make sure that you actually keep ownership. So you want to treat AI like a coach. You decide which suggestions make sense and which don't. Now Zara did this with her final draft and only used about 30% of AI's advice. Now, if you want to catch repetitive words, just ask AI to highlight them for you. Now, many students say passionate 6 or 7 times. Now, when you see that on a list, you can actually swap in some fresher words. A smart way for you to end is to ask the AI, does my last line make you want to meet me? So there's the question you can ask. And if it doesn't, then just ask for 3 suggestions but rewrite them yourself so the emotion actually stays yours. Now make sure you remember that generic is actually the enemy. AI will try to make you safe and polished. Don't let it erase your personality. Now don't forget to do one last human check. You want to read your statement out loud to a real person. When they say, I can hear you in this, then you've done it the right way. Let me now give you tip number 5, which is to use AI to discover your unique angle that no one else has. Now, I recommend you stop thinking your personal statement has to sound like everyone else's. The thing that you probably don't realise is that admission teams read hundreds of similar stories every day. Now, when you ask AI the right kinds of questions, it can actually help you find a small piece of your life that no one else can actually copy. For example, Sarah, one of my students, thought she had nothing special to actually say, so we used ChatGPT combined with a tool called Perplexity.ai. And just asked it what is unusual about someone who worked at a supermarket and loves bird watching. So that's the question we asked. And the AI actually suggested connecting teamwork in a supermarket with how observing birds taught her patience. That tiny link became the whole backbone of her personal statement. Now you can actually use AI to dig into parts of your life that you think are boring and watch them become gold. I suggest you make a simple list of every odd job, family responsibility or hobby that you've done and feed that into an app like Notion AI. Then you can just literally ask, show me the lessons hidden in these experiences that make me different. So there's the question you can ask. Now Sam, one of my students, did this with his part-time job stacking shelves. AI came back with ideas about problem solving, time management and even noticing small details. It transformed how he looked at himself. Now I would suggest that you use AI as a mirror that reflects parts of yourself that you can't see yet. The key thing here is that AI will only work with what you actually give it. The more honest and random your input, the more specific and personal the output. Tools like cogram.com and MindMeister are amazing for this type of thing. They help you to build mind maps from AI suggestions so you can actually see your story themes visually. Now you want to make sure you test different prompts because this is where the magic really happens. If you only type in make my personal statement better, you'll just get something generic. But if you type in connect my interest in coding with how I grew up fixing broken old laptops for my cousins, there's a good prompt you could use. The AI will actually build a bridge between your past and your future. That's where your personal statement becomes a story instead of a simple list. Now, one of the best things you can do is combine human help and AI help. I suggest you brainstorm with AI first and then bring those new ideas to a real person, such as a teacher, a friend, or even a mentor. Now Sarah, the same student I mentioned before, printed out 3 AI generated story ideas and took them to her teacher. Together they chose the bird watching angle, and that collaboration made the final version really strong and authentic. Now if you want to push even deeper, you can ask AI to tell you what an admissions officer would actually remember. This is an advanced trick that no one else does. Now you can type in, pretend you are an admissions officer, what part of my background stands out the most and why? So there's the question you can ask the AI. Then just see what it highlights. Often it's something you never thought mattered, but it's exactly what makes you more memorable. Now the big change that happens when you use AI like this is that you stop feeling like an imposter. Now Sam, who once described himself as boring, said after this process, I never realised that stacking shelves at night showed I can work hard even when no one is watching. Now that's the kind of self-respect this process actually gives you. And when you write from that place, your statement doesn't just sound better, it actually feels different as well. Wow, that's it for this video. Now, if you're serious about building your online business and creating a sustainable online income, take the next step now. Click the link below in the description or in the comments and go through to my website where you can find some free training resources to help you get started right away. These free step-by-step resources are designed to guide you through launching a successful online business and generating online income streams. So don't wait, take action today. Click the link below and start your journey right now. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really does energize and motivate me to create more content for you. Thank you very much indeed. And if you want to connect on social, you can find me on LinkedIn and Instagram. The links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel, and have a wonderful day.